students, I welcome you all in the next lecture of Mathematics 1, that is Algebra. We are revising chapter number 1, Linear Equations in Two Variables. In last 4 lectures, we have discussed all the textual exercises, all the methods and some questions based on that. As I told you in the previous lecture, now we are starting with out of text questions. We are going to solve additional questions. So under that, today I am starting with additional MCQs. Some MCQs are given in problem set as you have seen, but they are very less. In every chapter hardly 6 to 7 questions or sometimes 5 questions only are discussed based which are MCQ. But here now I am discussing additional MCQs. If you want, you can write them down so that you can understand it better. I will advise you that you write it down, and I am giving the correct answer also here. You try to find out the answer by yourself also, and if the same question appears, it will be beneficial for you to solve it. Okay, or same type of question may also appear. So let us start. I am starting with the first question here. See, the general form of linear equations in two variables is. So the general form is discussed. First of all, what did you keep in mind? Linear equation means degree should be 1. This is one thing. And second thing, two variables. That means the equation should have two variables. So you can see clearly that the conditions are satisfied only with the option B. Ax plus by is equal to c. All of you know the general form. We have used it so many times. Okay, so all of you can write it immediately without thinking much. As you can see here, ax plus b is equal to 0 written. Only one variable is there here. Here we should have two variables. Okay. Then here linear equation, that means degree should be 1, but here degree is 2. So it's not a linear equation. But option number B satisfies both the condition, that we have two variables and also degree is 1. Therefore, this is the general form. And also we are using it so many times that the general form is ax plus by is equal to c. Or secondly, you can write down ax plus by plus c is equal to 0. Sometimes they will give in this form also. This c will be shifted here to LHS. So it can be written as ax plus by plus c is equal to 0. Okay, so that also is the correct option. So observe carefully and try to find the correct answer. Okay, I hope you must have written it. I am going towards the next question now. Second one. Dash is one of the solution of equation 3x minus 5y is equal to 10. So here you can solve it by trial and error method. That means here you are provided with ordered pairs. So you go and substituting the values here. See, like first one, in place of x you are going to write 0 and in place of y you are going to write 2. Okay, so here 0, 3 into 0 is 0 and minus 5 into 2 is minus 10. So LHS we are getting minus 10, but RHS is 10. So this will not do. Okay, then go for second. Here y is 0 and x is 2. So here 3 to the 6. Okay, so not done. They are not same. LHS and RHS, they are not same. Here if you place minus 2, again see 3 into minus 2 is minus 6. But here we have 10. So all these three options are discarded. See this option. Okay, 0 and minus 2. Here, so in place of x you are writing 0 and in place of y you are writing minus 2. Minus 2 into minus 5 is 10. So LHS is equal to RHS. So write this correct answer. See, now here also you have two numbers minus 2 and 0. And here also you have 0 and minus 2. But ordered pair is important. First number shows you value of x and second number shows you value of y. Okay, so that is why this C is not the correct answer. Okay, the correct answer is what? X is equal to 0 and y is equal to minus 2. That is why option D is correct here. Okay, let us go further. Third one. if 13x, sorry, if 12x plus 13y is equal to 29 and 13x plus 12y is equal to 21, then the value of x plus y is. Now see here, whenever they will ask you for x plus y or x minus y, what you will observe here is these equations are of particular types. That means what you will observe is the coefficients are interchanged. See, here 12 is coefficient of x and here it is of y. Similarly, here 13 is of y and 13 is of x. So coefficients are interchanged. Then in that case, if you want to find x plus y, you need to add these two equations. And if you want to find x minus y, you need to subtract them, depending upon the sign in the middle. Okay, now since here plus sign is in the middle and we want x plus y, so we have to add. So when you add these two equations, what you are going to get? 25x plus 25y is equal to 50. And when you divide it by 2, divide by 25, you are going to get x plus y as 2. Your correct answer is what? 2. Okay. So this way you have to solve it. If you can do it orally as I have done now, then you can do orally also. But if you can't, then you write one below another, add, and you can check it. Okay. So always keep in mind, whenever x plus y or x minus y is asked, always you will find particular types of equation where the coefficients are interchanged. So either you have to go for addition or subtraction and then you have to divide, then you are going to get the correct answer. Okay. So copy it down if you want. 3 questions just now I discussed. Or you have another option also. You are very smart now. So if you want, you can take screenshot also. So let us go towards question number 4. Express the following information in mathematical form using x and y variables. Okay. So this statement we have to convert into mathematical form. One number is 5 more than 7 times the other. So two numbers are there. You have to take one number as x and other as y. Okay. So one number is 5 more than 7 times the other. Means what? First number minus 7 times the second number is equal to 1. Difference between them is 5. Okay. See, 5 more. Or if you want, I told you, you can write it as, see, I am writing, I am taking pen here and I am writing. So how I can write one number here? One number means what? I will write that as x. Then I told you that e stands for equal to. So we will write down equal to. 5 more than 7 times the other means what? 7 times other number means what? 7y, correct? And 5 more means plus 5, correct? So this way you can write, and then you can shift this 7y here and you are going to get the answer. Okay, so this way also you can do it. If you don't get it directly, then you can do it, or you can go for trial and error method. 7 times the other, here 5 times it is written, so not possible. Okay, so here these 3 options are very close, so better you write in this way and then you can check. Or if you can understand it directly, that the first number and 7 times the other number, difference between them is 5, then directly you can write this answer, or you write this way and then you convert it. Okay, let us go further. Dash is the solution of given simultaneous equations. 2 equations are given and you have to find out solution. Now you know various methods. Elimination by equating coefficient, or simply you can use your logic here, that, or you can go for trial and error method. See, x minus y is 7. That means difference between those two numbers is 7. So here you will find that the difference is not 7. Here it is not 7. So these options are discarded. Then here x plus y is 11. So Here you can see the sum is minus 11. So this is also wrong. So this is only the correct one. So this way you can use trial and error method also. Or if you want, you add these two equations. So y will get cancelled and x plus x, that is 2x is equal to 18. Therefore x is equal to 9. So value of x is 9 and value of y is 2. So this is the correct option. So you can solve it in many ways. Here there are no marks for method. You don't have to show any method. As I have said, in exam you are going to write down the correct question number and the correct option. That means the alphabets A, B, C or D. You don't have to write down this answer. Only suppose this is first question in your exam. What you are going to write? Question number 1, sub question number 1, and in front of that you write down C in bracket. That means C is the correct option. Okay, this way you are going to complete it. Let us go further. When we consider two linear equations in two variables, such equations are called as simultaneous equations. This I taught you when I taught you the theory. That we are thinking of two linear equations at the same time and they are in two variables. So they are called as what? Simultaneous equations. So this was very easy. Let us go further. If dx is equal to minus 18 and d is equal to 3 are the values of determinant for a certain simultaneous equation in x and y, then value of x is. This question is based on Cramer's rule. All of you know Cramer's rule, that for Cramer's rule we find three determinants d, dx and dy. And then what is Cramer's rule? X is equal to dx by d. Only two are provided, dx by d. So you have to divide. Minus 18 divided by 3, answer is minus 6. Option number C is the correct option here. Next, find m if the value of determinant, here the rows are m and 2 and minus 5 and 7 is 21. That means what we can write down, this determinant is equal to 31. So we have to solve this determinant. You know that how we find the value of determinant. We are going for cross multiplication. Okay. So value of this determinant is what? 7m plus 10. Correct? Because here you are multiplying m into 7 and minus 2 into minus 5. So that minus and minus is going to become plus. So value of this determinant is 7m plus 10 is equal to 31. So 10 if we shift to right hand side, what we are going to get? 7m is equal to 21 and therefore m is equal to 3. Option number B is the correct one. Okay, such question is asked often. Okay, you can practice it. It is very easy. You know how to solve the determinants. Simply you have to go for cross multiplication, but don't forget that in between those two cross multiplication minus sign appears by default. So if one number here is negative, then you are going to get plus 7m plus 10 and then it is going to get subtracted on the RHS and then you can get the value of unknown m. So the correct answer is option B. Let us go further. If a comma 3 is point lying on graph of equation 5x plus 2y is equal to minus 4, then a is equal to dash. You have to find out value of unknown a. See, this point is lying on the graph of this equation. It means that x is equal to a and y is equal to 3. They satisfy this equation. We can put these values here. We can replace x by a and y by 3. So when you are writing here 3, 2 into 3 is 6. And if you shift at this side, that will become minus 6. Minus 6 and minus 4 you are going to get minus 10. And here in place of x you are writing n. So what I got? 5a is equal to minus 10. and therefore a is equal to minus 2. I solved it orally. If it is not possible for you to solve orally, you write down the equation, you substitute these values here and solve it. Replace x by a, replace y by 3 and solve it to get the correct answer. Okay? In hurry, don't write wrong answer. Let us go further. Next question. Write dx for the following simultaneous equations. Okay. So here two equations are provided and we have to write down the determinant dx. Again, this is example of Cramer's rule. Okay. So when I taught you Cramer's rule, I told you that first of all you observe whether the equations are in standard form. This is very much important. Yes, the equations are in standard form, that is ax plus by is equal to c. Then when you write d, you think of only left hand side. And then I told you that for dx and dy, you have to see these constants. So these constants, they appear as a first column for dx. That means 8 and 5 should be present in the first column. So see, this is only the correct option. Nowhere 8 and 5 is written. So easily you can discard all these three options. That here for dx, 8 and 5 should appear as the first column. The constant from the right hand side, they appear as the first column. And then the coefficients of y, they appear as the second column. 4 and minus 2. So this is your correct answer. Okay. You copy it down along with me if you want. Next. Dash is not a linear equation in two variables. So this is very easy question. You know the standard form. X plus by is equal to c. What does this mean? That your equation should have two variables and the degree should be 1. Okay. So here you can observe that here everywhere the degree is 1. X and y is present everywhere. Okay. So these all are linear equations. But here the term xy is present. So degree of x is 1 and degree of y is 1. So 1 plus 1, 2. Degree of this equation becomes 2. So it is not a linear equation. Got it? Linear equation means what? Degree should be 1. You have to observe the degree of the variable. But when you have two different variables in one term, you have to add the degrees. So here 1 and here 1. So here the degree is becoming 2. That is why this equation is not a linear equation. Even though two variables are there, it is not a linear equation. I hope you must have understood. We have seen in the beginning and we have seen in 9th standard also, the equation which is having degree 1 is called as linear equation. The equation with degree 2 is called as quadratic equation, our second chapter. And the degree, if it is 3, then it is called as cubic equation. Okay. So this is the correct answer. Let us go further. The next question. The linear equations in two variables is. Here also you have to recognize the linear equation in two variables. So here you can see that here only one variable is present, here one variable is present. And since here xy is present, it is not a linear equation. So all these three options you can cancel. And clearly you can observe that here you have one variable x and here the other variable is present. And if you write it properly, you can take this to the LHS and 9 you can bring to RHS. So even though it is not in the standard form, it is a linear equation. Okay, so it is very easy to recognize. Let us go further. The simultaneous equations 3x plus 5y is equal to 16 and 4x minus y is equal to 6 have. And here 4 options are given: unique solution, no solution, infinitely many solutions, and none of this. So here also you are going to make use of Cramer's rule. Here you find the value of determinant D. And if determinant D is not equal to 0, then the equation is having unique solution. I told you that. If value of D is not 0, then the equation is having unique solution. So you find out D, you write down the determinant D by using these numbers. You write down determinant. See, you can write it like this. You have to draw the determinant here, and you want to find D. So you can write here 3 and 5, the two coefficients of x and y from first equation, and here you can write down in second row 4 and -1. Okay, see, so from here we have taken two coefficients, which are they 3 and 5, that we wrote as the first row, and from here we have taken 4 and -1. Now find out value of this. See, 3 into -1 is -3 and -20. You are getting -23 here, which is not equal to 0. So we can say that the simultaneous equations, they have unique solution. Okay, if you are getting 0, then you know that the equation is not having unique solution. So in that case, all these three options you can check. Infinitely many solution when the equations, if you try to reduce them and you get the same equation, like x plus y is equal to 5 and 2x plus 2y is equal to 10. So I am multiplying the first equation and I am getting the second equation. If the equations are same, then you are having infinitely many solutions. Okay, but to check for unique solution, you have to check D. You have to find determinant D, and if it is not 0, then the simultaneous equations, they have unique solution. Only one solution is there. Okay, so this way you are going to solve it. Let us go further. The next one. If simultaneous equations do not have any solution, then their graph will be. So here the different conditions for graph are given. You know that when we have studied graphical method, I told you that why we are using graphical method to solve the simultaneous equation. That when we draw the graph of two equations, we get two lines and they get intersect each other. So when the lines, they are intersecting, they are having only one solution. Okay, so here they have told that they do not have any solution. So when the lines are intersecting, they are having one solution. So if the lines are parallel, that means they are not intersecting. So the equations, they do not have the solution. So your answer is what? Parallel lines. You have to think here. Okay, so such questions which are application basis, they also can be asked. If you have infinitely many solution, I told you here, then the lines are coinciding. That is why there are so many points which match with each other, and therefore they are having infinitely many solutions here. So you have to keep this in mind. For infinitely many solutions, the graph of two lines is coinciding. For one solution, intersecting, and for no solution, parallel. Since they are parallel, they are having no solution. So here can't be determined will not come here, because we have the correct answer, parallel lines. Okay, so you have to keep this in mind. If you want, you can note down this. For infinitely many solution, the graph is coinciding lines. For one solution, it is intersecting lines, and for no solution, it is parallel lines. Okay, so this way you have to think and write down the correct answer of MCQ. Next, which is very easy. By Cramer's rule, the value of x is, you know, x is equal to dx by d. So option number B is correct. Okay, dx always appear in the numerator and d appears in the denominator. Okay, let us go further. The pair of simultaneous equations from the following is. Here simultaneous equation means what? We are thinking of two equations in two variables. Also, it is important that both the variables should be same. Like here, see, here you have x and y. So the equations to be simultaneous, you should have the another equation where the variables should be x and y. Okay, so nowhere you can see x and y here. Then let's check for another option. Okay, here you have x and z. So find out the other equation where you have x and z. Here it is not there. But here, yes, it is there. Even though the sequence is different, we can change the order. But still the variables are same. See, x and z. So these two, they give us the pair of simultaneous equation. So what is our correct answer? 2 and 4, which is option D. So this way you are going to think and answer here. Let us go further. Equation of x-axis is, when you have studied coordinate geometry, you have studied this, you know that the equation of x-axis is what? Y is equal to 0, because it passes through y is equal to 0. So equation of x-axis is y is equal to 0, and if the equation of y-axis is asked, you are going to write x is equal to 0. Okay, so for x-axis always you will go for y is equal to 0, and for y-axis you will go for x is equal to 0. Again, this is based on graphical method, so this question is asked. Next, such question we have solved previously, so I think you will solve this. Here also you have to solve the determinant, you have to go for cross multiplication. See, m into 1 is m, and minus 2 into minus 2, that is, you are going to get 4, because minus sign is outside and one more minus sign is here. So what you will get, m plus 4 is equal to 7. So that plus 4 is shifted to RHS. So 7 minus 4, answer is what? 3. Value of m is 3. Option number B. Let us go further. The perimeter of a rectangle is 64. Is expressed in mathematical equation form as. You have to write down the mathematical expression here. So you know the formula for perimeter of rectangle, 2 inside the bracket length plus breadth. Okay, so only correct option you can find here is B. Very clear. Perimeter of the rectangle, the formula is what? 2 inside the bracket length plus breadth. For length we are taking x, and for breadth we are taking y as the variable. So this is correct option. Next, again the determinant, the value is asked, very easy to find. 5 4s are 20, minus 2 7s are 14. 20 minus 14, the answer is 6. Okay, let us go further. Now these are some extra questions which you will solve by yourself, because you know the method to solve it. Graphical method is taught to you. We have done revision also. So all of you please copy down these questions and try to solve it as a practice. Okay, so that the graphical method question you can solve. I told you that it is time consuming. You try to avoid this, but still if you don't have any option, you have to go for graph. It will be a sure question of 3 marks. So you have to practice it. I told you that in case if you don't have option, you need to solve graphical method question. So all of you copy these questions and try to solve it in your graph book. Write it down or take a screenshot if you want. See now those two methods, elimination method and substitution method, that is omitted. No direct question will be asked on that. So the first method used here is what? Graphical method. You have to solve it. Okay, so copy them down. If you don't want to solve all, you can copy some questions. Okay, because in exam it is possible that they can ask the out of test question, they can change the numbers. So here are the few questions for your practice. I am going further. Next is the questions based on determinants. So copy these questions and solve the determinants. You know how to solve it now. Just now we have discussed so many questions. You have to go for cross multiplication here. So copy the questions. I hope you must have written it. Then next is the questions based on Cramer's rule or Cramer's method or determinant method. So these questions also you solve. Again I am saying for Cramer's rule also there will be a sure question of 3 marks, and that is easy also. You have to write 3 determinants, you have to find their values. So all of you please copy down these extra questions and try to solve them as practice. When the equations reducible to the linear equations in 2 form is omitted, practice set 1.4, it is not there for you. So in the next lecture, I will discuss word problems. Out of text word problems we will solve. As a practice, you can solve them, because I told you that in 4th question, the out of text questions are coming, and one sure question, sure word problem is there from this chapter. So you need practice for that. So in next lecture, I will start solving word problems. Okay students, so today I am stopping here. Thank you students.